areas of Maharashtra, Karnataka, central provinces saw the defense of forest laws. The people defied the forest laws such as restriction on grazing and timber, publicly sold the illegal acquired forest products. This kind of movement was more visible in areas with a large tribal populations. And also many famous like Chipko movement. I've heard about Chipko movements. What is the meaning of Chipko? Chipko. Chipko. Manipur and Nagaland also saw the effect of civil disobedience movement. In Nagaland, Rani Edilyu at the young age of 13 years led the revolt against the British. She was arrested in 1932 and given the sentence of life imprisonment at the age of 30. Just remember, at the age of 30, what we were doing, playing with our toys, and I won't give my toy to you. We were fighting for the silly things. But we got freedom. That's why we don't know the value of the freedom. But at the age of 13, that was a tribal uh, kid revolt against the British. So, due to that, she was arrested in 1932 and given the sentence of life imprisonment. The mass mobilization was done with the help of Prabhat files, Banar Senas, and secret Patrikas and Manjari Senas, which had girls at their members. Magic lantern shows that were organized to create awareness among the masses against the British. So finally, impact of the movement. During this movement, the import of foreign goods such as foreign clothes and other items were reduced sharply due to picketing of liquor and other intoxicants. The government revenue from these sources reduced. Further, the legislative assemblies were also boycotted. So, according to Gandhiji's objectives, so the Britishers they got less like meager amount of revenues. Almost the amount got very reduced due to picketing of liquor and other intoxicants. People didn't use any of the British products. So the government revenue from these sources got reduced. The main important thing, you will get a separate question from the partition of movement due to the civil disobedience movement. It was the only movement women's participated largely, only this movement, comparing to all the movements during the time of freedom struggle. So civil disobedience movements are large-scale participation of women, as Gandhi had asked women to take a leading part in the movement. Women participated in large numbers in picketing outside liquor shops, opium dens, and around the shops selling foreign goods. The civil disobedience movement was the most liberating experience for the women, which truly marked their entry in public spotlight. You can see through the picture how they were doing the participating in the mass movement. Student and youth participation was also significant, especially against boycott of foreign clothes, against liquor shop, etc. The demonstration protest against Kaniham Circle in Assam were also significant, what we have discussed. So merchants and traders, they were also active participants as they wanted protection from the goods imported from Britain. So they are not going to buy any products and they are not going to sell to our own people. They were active in boycotting the imported clothes and other goods. The impact was significant in areas like Punjab, Tamil Nadu, etc. And then tribal people. So tribals are also enthusiastic participants like in central provinces, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Northeast. So they defied and broke forest laws and illegally sold forest produce. They didn't sell the products to the Britishers. So they just banned like selling the products to the Britishers, and they sold for illegally sold forest produce to our own people. Regarding workers and persons, workers' participation was significant in areas like Bombay, Sholapur, Calcutta, Madras, etc., while others areas had limited effect as working class were not much developed in other areas. Persons were active in the United Provinces. Others, like they were involved in no rent campaign. Areas like Bihar, Gujarat also saw a significant participation of persons in this movement. So, finally, what was the government response while seeing all those things? The government response was ambivalent as it did unnecessary delay in arresting Gandhi. It played the card that non-intervention of government would make Gandhi's plan a failure, but the opposite happened. The government faced the dilemma as if it applied force, then its image suffered and the Congress cried repression, and it did not do much. The Congress cried victory. Thus, in both ways, hegemony of British Indian government was getting around. But once it began, repression, the ordinance were used to acquire draconian powers to repress civil liberties, press and for banning civil disobedience organization. So the police did lathi charge and firing on the peaceful and non-violent crowd. Several people were killed and injured, while around 90,000 people were arrested during the movement. So government efforts for choose the British Vice Lord have proposed a roundtable conference. So after this roundtable conference, which was already discussed by Professor Aswath Narayana sir. So along with the promise of discussion of dominion status, the Viceroy accepted the proposal to allow Tej Bahadur Sappu and Mr. Jayakar to try and bring peace agreement between the INC Indian National Congress and the British Indian government. In August 1930 at Etwara Jail, Nehru and Motilal Nehru met Mahatma Gandhi to find the possibility of truce with the government. They put forward the following demands: the right to form a national government having complete powers over defense and finance, etc. So they demanded the right of India to secede from Britain and the establishment of an independent tribunal to look after the financial claims of Britain on India. So they put the demands. So finally, the Britishers came to our path, but following some protocols. This is what we can do. We can use the dominion status. So propose a roundtable conference. We can sit and can discuss what has to be done at the time. So after this, the roundtable conference should be discussed again. So in the roundtable conference, what have discussed, whether we won the victory or they won the victory, those things should be discussed. Now, so what do you understand through the civil disobedience movement? Just give a brief sum up. And definitely tomorrow you will get a questions from this slide.